Good Morning America, election endgame. The last hours before the final votes. Vice President Kamala Harris looking to mobilize and energize voters.
We have an opportunity in this election to turn the page on a decade of Donald Trump trying to keep us divided and afraid of each other.
Bringing in the star power.
Got each other, and that's a lot.
Donald Trump with his own flurry of campaign stops, looking to convince voters he's the right choice.
If I win, you are 3 days away from the best jobs, the biggest paychecks, the brightest economic future that the world has ever seen.
The schedule ahead for the candidates as they make their final pitches to the public.
Crucial battleground states, a look at where the election can be decided. Early voting shattering records. The strategies for the campaigns looking for last-minute support. GMA's political team breaking down the scenarios for success. The pivotal states where it may all be decided, but will we know the winner Tuesday night?
Election security, the FBI warning about videos circulating on social media making false claims about ballot fraud. Who's said to be behind them and what to look out for, plus new numbers from our latest ABC News Ipsos poll, a look at the biggest political divisions. We have ABC teams across the country this morning as Americans choose their next president.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
And we do say good morning, America. Most of the country waking up a little refreshed, I hope, with that extra hour of sleep with a return to standard time. So we hope that you all got your rest, because we are now just 2 days away from Election Day 2024 with over 75 million Americans already casting their ballots.
Yes, and as the candidates deliver their closing arguments and sharpen their attacks on each other, we have brand new polling out this morning showing the race is a dead heat with real signs of discontent among voters.
Vice President Harris and former President Trump both laser focused on the battleground states in the final days of the campaign. We have team coverage of these critical final hours. So let's start with the Trump campaign and ABC's Mary Alice Parks, who is in Charlotte, North Carolina for us. Mary Alice, good morning to you.
Yeah, Janae, good morning. It was noticeable to me that the majority of voters at former President Trump's events yesterday said that they had already voted. According to the state, more than half of registered voters here in North Carolina voted early. Now, Trump, for his part, talked a bit about his legacy, how he would be sad that the campaign was coming to a close, and he even joked about how and where he might rather be. With just 48 hours to go until Election Day, former President Trump focused on the one battleground state he won 4 years ago, North Carolina.
We can't take a chance of losing the great state of North Carolina.
Trump, who has been struggling with women voters, repeating that he wants to protect women, especially in the suburbs, and saying again that he is the father of IVF treatments, though he also has taken credit for his role in overturning Roe v. Wade, which led to the attempts to restrict the fertility treatment.
I consider myself to be the father of fertilization.
His whirlwind campaign schedule also detouring to Virginia, a state Democrats hope is safely blue. There, saying that people have called him one of the greatest presidents of all time.
They said he's the greatest president that we've ever had. I said, does that include George Washington and Abraham Lincoln? Yes, sir, it does. I said, that's okay, I'll take it.
But before millions of Americans even head to the polls, Trump disparaging this election, suggesting he will only lose if it is unfair, and repeating baseless claims Democrats cheat.
If God came down and agreed to be our vote taker for one day, just one day, God would only need 1 second, actually. If he came down and he was going to be our vote taker.
Trump has never won the popular vote. He told his crowd in Virginia he hopes to this year, but then he again hedged and made false claims about election interference.
Let them cheat, because that's what they do. They do it very well. They're very professional. But I think we have a really good chance to win the popular vote.
In the final days of this race, Trump also musing about being somewhere else.
I'm going to work my ass off for you. And I didn't need this. I didn't need to be with you today. I could have been at a gorgeous beach in lots of places.
His speech is primarily focused on his dark anti-immigrant message. Trump sharing emotional stories from family members who've had loved ones killed by undocumented immigrants, promising to launch a mass deportation operation if elected, and inviting members of the Roanoke College swim team on stage who spoke out against transgender women competing in women's sports.
We won't be changing your children's gender with their transgender craziness.
Now, I will say there is a downside to Trump's busy schedule. He was running hugely late, well over an hour to each of his events yesterday. The crowds were smaller, and by the last event, the former president did seem to have a lot less energy. He even joked about whether he should do half of his speech. But another busy day today. He starts in Pennsylvania, then comes back here to North Carolina and ends in Georgia. Gio?
All right, Mary Alice, thank you so much. And now let's go to the Harris campaign back in Michigan today after also campaigning in that blue wall state on Friday. ABC's Selena Wang is in Detroit with the latest on this. Good morning, Selena.
Good morning, Gio. Vice President Harris is blitzing through the battlegrounds in her final push to get out the vote. She rallies here in Michigan today after making a surprise appearance on Saturday Night Live. She's pulling out all the stops as her campaign comes to a close.
Are we ready to win?
Overnight, Vice President Kamala Harris in North Carolina making her final push in the crucial southern battlegrounds.
We have an opportunity in this election to turn the page on a decade of Donald Trump trying to keep us divided and afraid of each other.
Harris making her economic plan front and center.
And at the top of my list is bringing down the cost of living for you. That will be my focus every single day as president. I will give a middle-class tax cut to over 100 million Americans. I will enact the first ever federal ban on corporate price gouging on groceries.
Tearing into Trump in battleground Georgia.
This is someone who is increasingly unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievance.
Harris hoping to sway moderate Republicans like this one.
What made you change your mind and vote for a Democrat for the first time?
I think, look, the Republican Party isn't the party I grew up with.
And the vice president making a surprise appearance overnight.
And live from New York, it's Saturday night!
Giving advice to herself, played by Maya Rudolph on SNL.
And I'm just here to remind you, you got this. Because you can do something your opponent cannot do. You can open doors.
The vice president poking fun at herself.
I don't really laugh like that, do I? A little bit.
On the trail, superstars John Bon Jovi.
Take my hand, we'll make it out swing.
And Alicia Keys firing up the crowd in battleground Pennsylvania.
But let me ask you, are we going back?
Joined by one of the most popular Democrats, former First Lady Michelle Obama.
Who's ready to elect the next president of the United States?
Second gentleman Doug Emhoff casting his vote for Harris, saying, "I'll never forget this moment." Even President Biden returning to the trail in his hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania, to rally union workers.
You know, we've asked a lot of each other, you and I, unions and me. I ask you one more thing. I'm asking you for your support for Kamala and Tim Walz.
Vice President Harris heads to Pennsylvania tomorrow, the most critical battleground state with its 19 electoral college votes. In these final days, her campaign is doubling down on the blue wall states of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Winning those states would be Harris's clearest path to victory. Whit.
Selena Wang, thank you. And let's take a closer look at how the battleground states are shaping up as the candidates make the most of the last days of the race. ABC's Faith Abube is in Georgia, one of those key states, and joins us now from Atlanta. Faith, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, Whit. There is no doubt that both campaigns believe the path to the Oval Office runs right through Georgia, which for Democrats in a presidential race had been a losing streak for nearly 3 decades until Joe Biden won the state back in 2020. And so it is remarkable to see both the candidates, Trump and Harris, repeatedly visit the state along with their running mates in this election cycle in an urgent push to get out the vote. Now, even in these final days, the candidates holding major rallies here this weekend. And right now, all signs show that the attention is energizing voters. Early voting totals in Georgia shattering records. More than 4 million people have already cast their ballots in early voting. These are numbers we have never seen in Georgia. That is more than half of active registered voters in the state, and roughly only about 1.3 million votes fewer than the number of people who voted in Georgia in the entire 2020 presidential election. But Georgia is only one part of the strategy. The campaigns have been barnstorming other swing states like Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. Kamala Harris making 10 trips to battleground states in the past week. Trump also doing the same to those states with about 11 trips, spending most of his time in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and in Michigan. Guys, you know this race is tight. Polls are showing that the race is neck and neck heading into Election Day, which means getting every potential voter out to the polls on Tuesday is critical. Janae.
And that's why we see those incredible numbers there. Faith, thank you. And our political director and Washington bureau chief, Rick Klein, is here with our latest poll with Ipsos. And this race, Rick, I mean, it is as close as ever.
Yeah, good morning, Janae. Our ABC News Ipsos poll has Kamala Harris just out this morning in 49-46 lead over Donald Trump. That's just a tick tighter than last week when we had the lead at 4 points, but it's all well within the margin of error. And narrowing into the 7 battleground states, guess what? Nothing changes. An identical lead, 49-46 across the 7 battlegrounds. But inside the individual battlegrounds, we still see a little bit of a different story. These are our 538 polling averages. Harris leading in Michigan and Wisconsin, but by less than a percentage point. Right now, trailing narrowly in the polling averages everywhere else, including Arizona. That's 2.5 points. But again, all of this is within any polling margin of error, and there's new polls even out this morning that would suggest a tighter race, even if that's possible here. And there are signs of discontent everywhere, particularly among voters for Donald Trump. But among all voters, 74% say that the country is on the wrong track going into Election Day. That includes half of Harris supporters, and wait for it, 98% of Trump voters say we are on the wrong track as a country. And 60% of voters say they are still dissatisfied with the candidates. And we finally found an area of bipartisan unity. 61% of Harris supporters and 57% of Trump supporters agree that they are dissatisfied with the candidates they are voting on this week.
Wow. And Rick, as for the battleground states, what are the candidates eyeing as their likeliest paths to victory at this point?
Yeah, and you heard Selena lay it out a little bit, but if the polls lined up exactly where things are in the Electoral College, if the polls are right, which is a big if, you'd have Donald Trump winning right now. 287 electoral votes, that's more than 270. But the polls, of course, are often off a little bit. So here's the scenario that Selena was talking about, the blue wall. Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, if they all go for Kamala Harris, that is 270 electoral votes exactly. That means the presidency for her. For Donald Trump, a couple of different paths, but the likeliest, let's say he carries Nevada and Arizona, where he's been leading in the polling averages, Georgia and North Carolina in the South, historically more Republican. He just needs one more state, and it could be any of the big 3. Pennsylvania, the likeliest and the biggest prize. That is the biggest battleground, and it is close to a must-win as we see for both candidates. There's agreement on that this year as well.
And Rick, we were talking about this behind the scenes this morning, that poll out of Iowa that now shows Harris leapfrogging, leading Trump. I mean, 3%. What can we glean from that? Yeah, well, for starters, remember where Iowa landed last time. That was not particularly close, about an 8 or 9 point win for Donald Trump. And it's possible that this poll is on to something powerful. It could be an outlier, it could be off. But if it's right, not just about Iowa, but about some other upper Midwestern states like Wisconsin and Michigan, if we start to see women break more heavily toward Kamala Harris, that might change the landscape on election night. We'll have to wait and see, Janae. Very interesting. Rick, thank you so much.
Yeah, fascinating numbers. And election security and disinformation, a significant concern with just 2 days to go. And ABC's Pierre Thomas is here with a look at that. Good morning, Pierre. I know that you've been talking to Homeland Security and the FBI. What's their biggest concern right now?
Gio, American voters are being bombarded with disinformation, much of it coming from foreign adversaries. It's unprecedented. Russia, China, and Iran are all involved to some degree, but right now it appears that Russia is the most active, and they're being very clever and focused in what they're doing. In the last week and a half, the FBI says the Kremlin has created a number of fake videos. They created one for battleground state Pennsylvania, in which a man was supposedly destroying Trump ballots. It was bogus. They created a video in Georgia in which a man was claiming to be Haitian, saying he had voted multiple times with fake IDs. And we just got word overnight that someone's been making fake videos about the FBI.
And Pierre, there is a lot of misinformation right now about the fairness of the election, whether votes will be counted accurately, even about hacking. And I know you interviewed the top election official for Homeland Security. What's she telling you?
Well, she cites two reasons that she's confident. Number one, the voting machines in this country are not connected to the internet, which means that hackers don't have access. And number two, 97% of America's voters will have their votes and ballots recorded on paper, meaning that they can be checked and rechecked for recounts or whatever's needed. So with that, Homeland Security officials believe people can be confident and go out and vote and know that their vote will be counted.
And that those voting machines are not connected to the internet. All right, Pierre, thank you so much.
And let's bring in this week co-anchor and ABC News Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl and our Deputy Political Director Avery Harper. Good morning to both of you. It's great to have you. John, let's start with you first here and how the candidates are making their closing arguments. And what's the pitch that Trump is making here in the final days?
It's a pretty basic one. It's that things were better when he was president than they are now. He says at the beginning of every rally now, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? The crowd screams no. Now, to be clear, exactly 4 years ago, we were in the middle of a pandemic that had shut down our economy and thousands of people were dying. That's not literally what he means, but he means pre-pandemic. We had a low inflation, economic growth. The world was not, in Trump's words, on fire. That said, Trump's own message, once he gets past that opening line, is all over the place. It's seeing Liz Cheney with guns in her face. It's the rally we saw in Madison Square Garden, talk of the enemy within. He's nowhere near as disciplined as his campaign would like to see him be.
And the dark rhetoric certainly has come out more.
As it could possibly be. Yes.
Yeah, and Avery, what are we hearing from the Harris team?
Well, the Harris campaign is trying to put forth a unifying message. You see her on the campaign trail reaching out to folks who disagree with her, offering a seat at the table to those who disagree with her. They believe that their coalition is broad, that it's more than just Democrats, that it's independents and Republicans too. They are also making the argument that former President Trump is a danger to democracy. That's a message they believe that crosses across party lines.
And John, we are seeing this question all the time, every single day. Will we know who wins on election night?
Well, as I look into the crystal ball here, Gio, look, there's a very good chance we will, actually, because there have been steps that have been taken since 2020 to speed up the process, especially in Pennsylvania. You remember how we were waiting almost a week for the results in Pennsylvania as they counted those absentee ballots. The counting is going to begin a little bit earlier than it did 4 years ago. There aren't going to be quite as many mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania as there were last time, we don't think, and the process will go quicker. It all depends on whether or not any one of those key states is really so close. I mean, I was there, Florida, 2000, when we had to go through recount and challenges. If it's that close, then we could be in for a long haul. But, you know, if it breaks one way or the other, we could certainly know, actually, late Tuesday night.
All right. And Avery, too, we've been talking about early voting. So what are we learning in these early exit polls? More than 75 million people have already cast their ballots.
Right. We do know that Democrats are outnumbering the Republicans who are coming out to cast ballots. But the electorate has been more rural, more male, more Republican. And so the Trump campaign is looking at that as a good sign for them. At the same time, the Democrats are saying, look, there's no sign that Republicans have picked up new voters. And so they're looking at that as a good sign for the Democratic side of things. Of course, it's really important to know there are limitations to what we can glean from some of these early vote numbers. A lot of those answers are going to come on election night.
All right, Avery Harper, John Karl, as always, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And on Monday, GMA, Monday morning, House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries will join us live as we inch closer to Election Day, and the Democrats are working to win the House majority as well. And on election night, stay with ABC News. We'll have all the results as they come in, beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern, reporting from both campaign headquarters, and of course insight and analysis from our powerhouse political team. Again, that's at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Plus, Don't forget to tune in later this morning for a special pre-election edition of This Week.
Listen, when it comes to politics, we have got you covered.
On it.
And now we're going to get you covered for the weather, a check of the weather with Leslie Lopez from our Los Angeles station, KABC.
Good morning. You know, we are talking about significant threat right now for the heartland. We have right now active video of, now this is brand new, Valley Brook. This is significant damage coming out of multiple tornadoes that landed yesterday right near the Oklahoma City metro area. Now, this threat isn't over. You can see that line of storms is going to continue to move forward right through the region. And as we're heading out, flash flood watches, they're active. We have other tornado watches that have been active through today, might have to issue more later on this afternoon. That Oklahoma City area later on this afternoon, we're expecting to see severe threats of tornado activity, wind, damaging winds. We're talking about some rain. So these flash flood watches are going to be in effect all the way through, not only today, but also as we move out into Monday. Monday, that threat increases from Austin all the way up towards southern Springfield. We also know that about 54,000 people are without power right now. So we're going to keep a very close eye on that area through today and also through Monday. So it's not over yet.
Okay.
Good to know, Leslie. Thank you. Still coming up here on Good Morning America, the latest on the death of former One Direction star Liam Payne and his final hours.
And too soon, the controversy over Christmas creep as retailers push the big holiday even before all that Halloween candy's been digested.
And NFL Week 9, Coach Herm Edwards is back with his preview of the big matchup. So will Gio actually get a win on his Monday night pick?
No!
Find out. We're going to talk about the Chiefs and the Bucks this Monday night. We'll be right back.
Zone for a score. 12 play in the drive is second and goal. And
It's time. Welcome back to GMA on this Sunday morning. The self-proclaimed Queen of Christmas, Mariah Carey, closed out Halloween to declare it Christmas season. But is it too soon? That's the question on lots of minds, Whit. Coming up, we take a look at how many retailers and shoppers think not. Christmas is like your favorite time.
I've already planned my lighting scheme. We're going bigger, we're going brighter. I learned everything I know about exterior illumination from Clark W. Griswold.
Yep. Every single time. And every year he tells us and reminds us.
Thank you, Clark.
I got home yesterday to the apartment already decorated for Christmas. The tree goes up today.
Okay.
Tommy doesn't play.
Doesn't play. All right. Let's take a look at some of the other big stories that we're following on this Sunday morning here happening right now. Both candidates spending their final hours in key battleground states. Today, Vice President Harris will be in Michigan. Donald Trump will be in North Carolina, as well as Georgia and Pennsylvania. More than 75 million Americans have already cast their vote, and millions more will head to the polls this Tuesday. Now, believe it or not, it is not too late to register in a number of states. You see that QR code right there on your screen. Scan it to learn more.
And breaking overnight, multiple confirmed tornadoes striking in Oklahoma City. At least 6 people were hospitalized. More than 50,000 customers in the area are without power this morning. Residents are still assessing the damage as parts of Oklahoma are still under a flood watch today.
And TGI Fridays, the chain that popularized happy hour in the 1960s, has filed for bankruptcy. The Dallas-based company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, saying it will begin a restructuring process. The restaurant chain citing financial challenges brought in part by the COVID-19 pandemic.
All right, and we are going to start this half hour here with Liam Payne. From his quick rise to fame with the boy band One Direction to his later personal struggles ending in a tragic death, his family is now making final arrangements. And ABC's Morgan Norwood is here with that story. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning to you, Gio. While Payne's family will finally have the comfort of bringing his body home, there are still so many unanswered questions surrounding his death. And police are now zeroing in on hotel surveillance video for answers. And now a new report on 2020 Tonight takes us deeper into the life and final moments of the beloved One Direction star.
This morning, the family of Liam Payne preparing to say their final goodbyes. Sources in Argentina tell ABC News Liam Payne's body will be given to his family to take to his final resting place in his native England. It comes as fans across the globe remember the entertainer who first captivated audiences with his powerful vocals at the young age of 14 on the X Factor stage. Going on to join the hit boy band One Direction and hitting meteoric stardom.
You're insecure, don't know what for. You're turning heads when you walk through the door.
But as his star rose, so did his struggles with substance abuse and mental health.
Tenemos un huésped que está sobrepasado de droga y alcohol.
Liam Payne falling to his death from his hotel balcony in Argentina last month. The tragedy sparking an ongoing probe, with police now analyzing security cameras to piece together what happened. Multiple sources with direct knowledge of the investigation telling ABC News those cameras twice show Payne asleep in the lobby, holding a bottle of whiskey, clearly already intoxicated. Payne had long been outspoken about his struggles with substance abuse, posting a video in July of 2023 to his YouTube channel saying he was 6 months sober after receiving treatment.
It's good to be in this position, and I definitely don't need those things anymore. The party's over.
A special edition of 2020 Tonight examining Payne's years-long battle with addiction and the pressures of fame.
When you think about it, like every generation kind of goes through this. Like they have their star that, leaves us way too early. Kurt Cobain, you have Chris Farley, Jimi Hendrix, you have Amy Winehouse. It's just sad because you have these fans that they're all left looking for answers that they just may never get.
I don't think I've ever met an addict or an alcoholic who, when you've had the drugs taken away, isn't revealed as a really nice person, as somebody who's very gentle and very soft, and Liam was no different to that. Just fragile, and who need a bit of help and support.
You and me got a whole lot of history.
His legions of fans remembering Liam as a vibrant entertainer and the dad of a young son. His voice forever living on.
Seems to me that when I die, these words will be written on my stone.
And as far as the investigation, police sources say there were multiple drug deals between a hotel employee and a dealer, and authorities are now investigating if that employee provided drugs to Payne. ABC News has reached out to that hotel in Argentina for comment. Gio, we have not heard back.
Yeah, it is also sad. All right, Morgan, thank you so much. And you can watch a special edition of ABC's 2020, The Price of Fame, the Liam Payne story. That's tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern right here on ABC and streaming on Hulu starting tomorrow.
All right, let's get another check of the weather. Go back to Leslie Lopez. Leslie, we've had some great fall weather, but they're getting the ski season started in some places.
Skiers, snowboarders rejoice. It is going to be the opening day of ski season, at least over here. This is a basin in Colorado, and you can see that everyone's having a really good time heading down the slopes. Now, on the contrary, we're going right to the tropics, and we're dealing with some other threats. Now, this is going to be a few storms that could turn into developed named storms. Out there looks like there's going to be a storm system, particularly in Western Caribbean, that is spinning around right now through the region, getting right through areas of Jamaica, potentially taking a turn towards Cuba. Still too early to tell if this is going to veer into the Gulf of Mexico, but if it does so, we'll keep you updated. Well, it's good to see the ski season's open. And a lot of people are very happy about that.
Get that
We
snowboard ready.
love shredding the gnar.
Waxed and ready.
Thank you, Leslie.
And while many of us still have our Halloween costumes lying around, the push is on to get you thinking about chestnuts roasting on an open fire. ABC's Alexis Christoforous is looking at retailers and the so-called Christmas creep. Alexis, good morning.
It is real. It is here. Look, I know we haven't even carved the turkey yet, right? But that's not stopping retailers or consumers from declaring it the start of the holiday season. With Halloween now in the rearview mirror, the race to Christmas is on, with retailers ready to deck the halls. And it's not your imagination. Christmas really is creeping up earlier in the year.
Everywhere you go shopping, all the Christmas is out. There's no fall left. It's all Christmas.
Like at Home Goods, where they're already dressed up for the holidays and declaring November 1st as Deck the Everything Day, celebrating early decorators.
Why wait until December when the holiday cheer can start?
Some folks going all out to embrace those early holiday vibes. But is it a little too soon to break out that Christmas decor? Not for the Queen of Christmas herself, Mariah Carey. If that's not enough to get you in the holiday spirit early, how about Black Friday deals kicking off as early as this week? That's right, Target is launching its earliest Black Friday deals ever, a 3-day event November 7th through the 9th, on top of its daily and weekly deal drops through Christmas Eve. Walmart's Black Friday deals starting online November 11th, in store November 15th. Retailers hoping consumers will shop early and often.
There's lots of newness and deals coming and going. It's very festive. The retailers are going to be playing it very carefully to keep the excitement going.
That's right. The National Retail Federation now predicting we're going to spend about 3% more this year, or about $900 on food, gifts, and holiday decorations. You know what? I'm still putting my tree up the day after Thanksgiving.
Really? You're waiting?
I do.
Ours goes up today.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
You got me beat on that one.
Yeah, you're soon after that.
Yeah, we still got the jack-o'-lanterns out first. We'll wait for those to rot and then move on. Alexis, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Coming up on Good Morning America, the busy weekend in the NFL. ESPN's Herm Edwards is here with his picks and predictions.
In the NFL. Swing it.
And welcome back to GMA as we take a look at Week 9 in the NFL. Lots of great matchups, and veteran head coach, ESPN analyst, our guy, Herm Edwards, is back with us, joining us to break it all down. Hey, Coach, good morning to you. So let's go ahead and start with the Baltimore Ravens tackling the Denver Broncos today. Both teams are 5-3. Who do you think will get that 6th win?
Well, I'm going to say this. They're playing in Baltimore, Denver, against a salty Baltimore team, and the fact that they're chasing the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. I see a lot of Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. And then the Baltimore Ravens defense getting after the rookie quarterback, Bo Nix. I thought he's played well. But in the National Football League, now when November hits and the leaves fall off the trees and the weather starts changing, this is when you have to make your run in November. This is when it starts in the National Football League. You're going to see a lot of this, too. You're going to see Lamar Jackson trying to take over this game. He understands the importance of winning games down the stretch, especially in November. So I like the Ravens at home.
All right, Coach, so the Detroit Lions 6-2 with their best start in nearly 70 years. They're headed to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. So what does Green Bay need to do to get a win at home?
Well, I think if you're Green Bay, you've got to stop the run. You've got to stop Montgomery and Gibbs. And this is how the Detroit Lions get their offense started, really. They do a nice job of running the football. Green Bay has to run the ball as well, as you see right here. But they've got to stop the run of the Detroit Lions and make Jared Goff go back and try to beat you passing the ball. Not play action passing, but passing the ball. And that could be a factor in this game. Also, the weather. Remember, last time I checked, the Green Bay Packers play outside on the grassy field. So conditions are going to be tough for both teams.
Oh, all right. We'll keep that in mind. All right, so now we're going to recap our Who's with Herm numbers. Whit is ahead with 7. That's pretty impressive, Whit. I mean, we could clap for me because I'm impressed that I have 6.
Good.
Herm has 5. Gio, not a point.
It's like impossible with the odds how you can have 0.
Crazy.
Again, I choose the loser.
No,
That's
that
my
is not
goal.
what you were doing. Monday night here on ABC, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to KC Mo to take on the undefeated Super Bowl champs, the Chiefs. Herm, who's your pick?
Hard to pick against the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, that's a stadium I know a little bit about. I've been there twice as an assistant coach and a head coach. I think remember, they acquired Hopkins, the new receiver, along with Kelsey. That's going to be a problem. Now he has 2 big receivers. You know, when you think about Patrick Mahomes and playing at home. And Kansas City understands this. Home games are important to them. They cannot lose home games. They're playing a very good football team, but I like Kansas City at home against the Bucs.
There you go.
It's Chiefs for me, too, no question.
For sure, absolutely.
I'm going with the Bucs. And Tampa Bay, my Florida
Okay,
peeps.
at this point, he's going to win for being the loser, but this is not how it started.
He might win this one. He might. If Tampa Bay wins this, I will not be surprised. You might get a win.
Okay. Coach Herm,
for it.
You said it. Thank you so much, my friend. Tune in to Monday Night Football right here on ABC and ESPN starting at 8. All right, now to the world's largest marathon right here in New York City. ABC's Rena Roy is covering the race and joins us from the finish line there in Central Park. Hey, Rena.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, that's right. We are right here in front of the finish line here in Central Park. Right now, participants in the wheelchair event are starting to cross. It is the first time in the history of the race that both the men and women's wheelchair events were won by Americans. In total, more than 50,000 runners are taking over this city here today, and they've been working hard for months to prepare for this. They will have to cross through all 5 boroughs. They start on Staten Island, go through Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Manhattan before finishing right here in Central Park. This is considered the biggest marathon in the world, and this is such an exciting moment for them. They've been training for months. They've been carb loading, getting those miles in and getting as prepared as they possibly can be to run 26.2 miles. And I just want to say that some of our GMA family, they are taking part today, so big shout out to them. We wish them the best of luck. Guys.
Unbelievable.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, so exciting to watch. My hamstrings tightening up just looking at that map, too,
I want
by the
that
way.
carb loading right now.
Yes, we'll carb load on Halloween candy. Thank you, Rena. Appreciate it. And a reminder, ABC News Live will now have weekend programming. It happens every weekend. And, of course, we're providing the latest news throughout the course of the day.
And thank you so much for starting your day with us. We're going to have much more later this morning on a special pre-election edition of This Week.
We're 2 days from the election, guys. We got it.
It's happening.